Attention again. We'll continue our availability this morning with Jimmie Johnson, driver of the number 48 Lowe's Cortez Silver Chevrolet, who is currently fourth in points with 3 wins so far this season. Jimmie, talk a little bit about your season thus far and getting closer to the chase in Richmond and going into Chicagoland and where you guys are so far this season.
Yeah, real happy with the way things have gone here in the last, 3-4 months really. We've had a lot of speed and a lot of great results and been to victory lane, the Brickyard, and certainly in position at Pocono for that. So, disappointed that we left some bonus points on the table at Pocono, but the circumstances I had on that last restart, not much I can really do about that. I'm pretty thankful to have finished 14th the way things unfolded there. So, looking forward to this race today. I really feel like we've got a chance to run on the top 3. And if things go right, have a chance to win. But I love road course racing. Happy to be here, but I'm really excited to get back on the ovals and try to get some more bonus points before the chase starts.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Jimmie. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start over here with Claire.
Claire Beelang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I was just talking to Juan Pablo Montoya about this track, and he said it pretty much takes a set of them to be able to race here because it's a road course that's very, very, very fast. Talk us through that and how difficult it is at this track to race at those high speeds, put it so that the fans can get what it would feel like to race that fast through the turns.
Yeah, it is a very fast, the fastest, we only have 2, but the fastest road course we run on. It's considerably faster through all the turns than what we have at Sonoma. So when the faster you go, the more the car is dependent upon aero, and we'll consciously make decisions from an aero standpoint here more than we would at Sears Point. So as this track's tough, I think there's a lot of time to be made through the S's and up on the long back straightaway. And when you're right through there, you're on the throttle a long time, burning a lot of fuel. But the tough thing here is the way the mileage works out in our fuel burn, and you're right on the edge of if you get good fuel mileage and have some cautions fall for you, you can go one less stop than everyone else. I have yet to have that happen. I just use the throttle too much, drive the car with the throttle a lot, and usually have to make that extra stop. And I feel like that's hurt us at the end of the day, being in position to win. We still get good finishes, but to win, I wish we could, wherever the fault lies, get better fuel mileage. But I've been consistent. I just don't get good fuel mileage. It doesn't matter if it's here or an oval, wherever it is. It's not my strong suit.
Do you feel the speed here?
You do. Yeah, you absolutely do. I mean, the speed before each braking zone is really high. Turn 1 is a downhill braking zone with a wavy surface that lights up the wheel hop that we have going into the corners. I call it turn 10. Turn 10 is exciting. You've got a long straightaway just in between gear selections coming into that corner and a hard braking area to the left. So speed is high for sure.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Melinda, then go to Marty. Right back here.
Hey, Melinda Adams, ESPN. Just wonder if you could talk about, why Hendrick has been so dominant lately, 7 wins, and do y'all share information, or it's just, a great thing y'all got going?
We definitely share information, and I feel like over the off season, we really aggressively went after our setups on our car and made some made some changes as a company-wide, and I think a big difference in things was the addition of Kenny Francis and Casey Kane. They brought in new ideas, new way to think of things, and with our group working together, we've been able to really perfect that and make the car stronger. I've got to give Steve Letard and Dale Jr. a lot of credit for some areas that they've improved and have brought speed to the table on. And we've just been packaging it all together and refining things. And I think it's really at a good time that all 4 teams are peaking, because the chase is nearby, and we're really honing in on what we need for our race cars. And hopefully it's a great chase for Hendrick Motorsports and even a better chase for my team.
Okay, we'll take Marty, Chuck, Jim, and Joe.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Johnson, in other sports, when teams do very well during the regular season and are inching towards the playoffs, there seems to be a debate whether they should rest players and give people time off and whatnot. I just talked to Matt about it, and he said it just doesn't apply to the platform you guys use. Why doesn't that philosophy in ratcheting back a bit work in NASCAR racing?
I think in other sports they're more worried about an injury than anything else, and we certainly run that risk with our over-the-wall guys. But from a driver's standpoint, it's just not the same environment, and there's more to be had in a rhythm and with momentum that a team has in anything. So, I remember seeing a few instances where teams that rested players lost that rhythm and maybe lost a little mojo as a result. But you just got to weigh your risk factors. And, in other sports, the injury factor is really, really high. And we're fortunate to not have that.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Jimmy, good morning. Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group over here. You mentioned you want to excited to get back to the ovals. A, what did your team glean from the tire test at Michigan? And B, what do you think we can expect at Bristol?
I haven't been briefed on the Michigan tire test and what went on there, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I know we're going to be going fast going back. And then Bristol, nobody really knows what's going to happen. From what I've heard, the top groove there's been a strong attempt to take that away from us to where we'll fight for the bottom, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. I don't think it'll have a big impact on qualifying. But once we get in the race in that top lane, how good it's been, we'll see if it is gone. Once rubber goes down, it depends on how the track takes the rubber. Really the correlation between the tire and the concrete. We've seen some grinding surfaces never take rubber. Kentucky is kind of like that. Once you get above the third lane, the grooves that are up there will not take rubber, and that's why we only go so high. But I remember Martinsville, long time ago. They, I think, ground the bottom, and once the rubber took to it, it made it real sticky, and it worked great to run the bottom. So we just need to get on track and see. But it'll be interesting, the whole process of figuring it out.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jim in the middle.
Jim Noble, ESPN. With the win at Pocono, how much do you think the perception of Jeff changed in the garage as maybe a legit championship contender? We understand the math of the wild card situation and everything, but breaking through and winning, how much do you think that means in terms of the 24 and possibly Chase and beyond?
I feel the garage area knows how strong the 24 has been, and he's without a win wasn't in a wild card situation. So I think Chase related, the garage is much more concerned about him, and they should be. I mean, he's a great driver, great team, and they're plenty capable of winning a championship. But until he had the win, I don't think people really paid a lot of attention to it. And momentum seemed to be against him in a lot of ways that maybe people weren't paying attention, but now they will. I mean, you cannot count that 24 out. And from a team standpoint, I really want all four cars in the chase and hopefully battling, all four cars for the championship.
Okay, we'll take our next question up front here from Joe.
Joe Manzer, NASCAR.com. Jimmy, looking at some of the other guys like Kenseth and to a lesser extent Dale Jr., they've kind of struggled throughout their careers at road courses. You did early on. When did you finally start getting it, do you think, at road course races? And is there something you can pass along, particularly to Dale Jr., I guess, since he's your teammate?
For me, it was really frustrating to struggle on road courses getting started. And my background was kind of road course racing. The off-road trucks and buggies and stuff that I raced wasn't on an oval ever. So that part really troubled me, but learning the vehicle and understanding the vehicle was key, and that just came with experience. Something that was helpful for me was to run in the Grand Am Series and to actually go faster than what we do in a Cup car, and that's something that's worked for me my whole life. When I was a kid racing dirt bikes, we had the class that I would ride in, and my dad always had a bigger bike for me to ride. I'd just practice on it. I wouldn't race, but I would feel the power, I'd understand the weight, and see things at a faster speed. So when I went back to my bike, things slowed down and I was in control and more comfortable. So I give a fair amount of credit to the Grand Am Series in running with Stallings, and also Bill Riley, the time I spent running his car, and also the Crawford car, the three teams I drove with. It just helped me progress. They have different tools to work on the race car with, but still the process of searching for speed and grip was helpful for me. It's a little bit different than an oval. So, that and then reps in the Cup car. It's all about seat time.
Additional questions for Jimmy? Okay, we'll take one to the right here from Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Kind of building on what Jim was asking, if Jeff Gordon makes the chase, how does the dynamic of the chase change, if at all?
I'm not sure. When I was thinking about the chase when the season started, I had the 24 in there, and I guess that's where my mind has been. I haven't paid too close attention to who's in and who's out, but I guess deep down inside, I've always expected the 24 to be in the chase, so it hasn't changed anything for me.
Okay, we'll take our question here from Mike.
When the chase starts, if you've got all 400 guys in the chase, when do you stop trading information and start getting cutthroat about the whole thing? That's
a question I'm glad you asked, because I know there's always people thinking that communication stops. It doesn't. It can't. At Hendrick Motorsports, the way it's set up, the information is always there. It can't stop. Every outing report that every team makes goes into a database, and it's there. Maybe drivers don't talk as much as they have, but all the information is in the database. So all of the information sharing is there. And it's been that way since I've been at Hendrick Motorsports.